This video is brought to you by EvangelistaSports.com, Canada's largest online soccer retailer. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout for 10% off any order of $75 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the brand new Adidas F50 adizero miCoach 3 or adizero 5, whatever you want to call it. This is the synthetic upper variation in the orange Samba pack colorway. Now, as far as what you get in the box, because this is the synthetic upper variation, they include an extra set of comfort insoles. These are them. The comfort insole features the adizero branding on the heel, a synthetic suede liner on top, the same shape as previous comfort insoles, except the foam on the insole is a little bit thicker this time around and better quality, definitely more dense, different pattern on the underside as you can see, and should provide a slightly more cushioned feel underfoot, which is really all you can ask for. These come along with the lightweight insoles already included in the shoes themselves, which I'll show you in just a second. So I'll get this box out of the way, and if you guys could take a quick second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here is a look at the long-awaited brand new version of the synthetic F50 adizero, which is in every single way, from what I can tell so far, a definite improvement over any of the previous models, and really the first major redesign to the adizero series since its release in 2010. Now, as far as the colorway itself goes, this is the orange colorway in the brand new Samba pack. The adizero will be available in the orange you see here, as well as a blue colorway that I will be getting in very, very shortly. As far as the graphics themselves go, you can see that it is laid out a little bit differently than previous versions of the adizero. The stripes run lengthwise on the shoe, which I'm not sure I'm a big fan of. Maybe in new colorways it will look a little bit better, but as of right now I'm still kind of skeptical or hesitant to say that I really like the design as far as the aesthetics go on the shoe anyways. You have obviously a predominantly bright orange upper, definitely the brighter of the two launch colorways for the adizero. Your black Adidas stripes with your pink accent going around the bottom, purple laces on the shoe, and then of course that Samba pack pattern going across the tongue, as well as the inside liner and lightweight insole on the shoe. The insole says adizero, and then the little branding there on the back of the heel says Samba 14, which is kind of a cool little thing and a pattern that will only be included on the Samba pack colorways and will not be included on future general release colorways, if you will. So this is more or less somewhat of a special edition thing, if you want to call it that. Now, as far as the technical specifications and performance of this shoe goes, I know a lot of you guys are probably curious about how this shoe actually does perform, and I will be getting into doing a playtest video as soon as possible, along with a slow motion video, so expect to see those go up in the next week or so, followed by, of course, my full written review, which is where you will get all of those major details that I'm sure a lot of you are looking for. But in the meantime, we're going to go over all the technical specifications, and there definitely is a lot to talk about here. Now, the upper is made out of two brand new materials. Gone is the sprint skin synthetic that we've seen on the last four versions of the synthetic adizero, and it has been replaced by one brand new material and one brand new way of implementing a material, I should say. Now, the front half of the shoe, starting at this seam right here, wrapping across the forefoot toe box and midfoot area, cutting off at this seam right here on the instep, is hybrid touch synthetic, the same synthetic material found on the Predator LZ2 as well as the Nitro Charge 1.0, but obviously implemented in a very different way. You can see it's very, very thin based on the edge of the synthetic right here. And it doesn't have really any padding to it at all. So if you're looking for that padded feel, you're not going to get it from the synthetic adizero. This is really going to provide more of a barefoot playing experience on the ball. Now, it does have a synthetic leather grain finish on the outside, so for the most part it is very smooth, but you do have the added texture of the dribble text coating going across the inside of the forefoot, the top of the toe box, and then just right here at the base of the toe box there is that same dribble text coating. It's something that's designed to provide a little bit of additional grip on the ball, and it definitely does appear like it will do that, instead of just leaving you with a completely smooth upper finish. In terms of how much it's going to affect your touch on the ball in terms of grip, that has yet to be seen until I've actually used the shoe myself. Now, a lot of you guys may have noticed that there is a little bit of a shiny area on the upper right here. That is that same kind of TPU band fused to the upper that you normally find wrapping around the entire forefoot and toe box area on previous versions of the synthetic adizero, but this time they've only left it right here on the inside of the forefoot, acting as one kind of a durability, kind of reinforcing part, that part of the upper, as well as one just supporting that part of the upper in terms of stability. So I'm kind of skeptical why they didn't do that across the entire forefoot and toe box area. But again, we're talking about a brand new shoe with brand new materials, so durability is really up in the air in terms of if this shoe is going to last long or not, because it doesn't have, like I said, that reinforcing band going across the entire forefoot and toe box area. Now moving on to the back half of the shoe, you have this brand new material, has a very unique look about it. You can see that it is semi-translucent with my finger kind of poking through there. It is called Adidas Speed Foil, and Speed Foil is a brand new synthetic by Adidas that is not so much designed around touch, but is more so designed around reinforcing parts of the shoe that are not based around touch while still maintaining a very lightweight construction. And you can see that the construction of Speed Foil is very similar, from what I can tell, to Nike's Nike Skin material, in that it does feature kind of a honeycomb pattern mesh base with a fused layer of TPU plastic, very thin layers of course, over top of that, obviously implemented in a little bit different way. Like I said, it's not really based around areas of the shoe that's going to be making contact with the ball, but is more so there just to provide nice reinforcement. It's very, very rigid, not nearly as soft as what you're going to get from Nike Skin or anything like that, and really doesn't worry me as far as durability. It doesn't feel like it's going to rip. It feels very solid. Obviously it has a unique look, but other than that, there's really nothing that worries me about this Speed Foil synthetic, and I'm curious to see what Adidas is going to do as far as implementing Speed Foil on future models, because it definitely does appear to be a very, very good idea. The only reason why it isn't translucent all the way around, for those of you wondering, is because of course you do have the synthetic material on the inside that is not see-through, so you only have see-through areas where there's no liner on the inside of the shoe. And you can see that they're bonded with this stitch that has a fused layer over top. And again, a lot of people may be worried about kind of a really aggressive steam on the inside of the shoe, but there's no kind of rubbing areas that I can tell so far. So again, comfort shouldn't be an issue, even though there are two very different materials being stitched together right at the midfoot. Not sure if I mentioned this already, but the tongue itself is hybrid touch synthetic all the way through. You do have a central lacing system, as you guys can see. The cut in the heel as well as on the back of the heel is exactly the same as the previous version of the Adizero, I should say. So there's no difference there. Features a synthetic leather liner on the inside, which is really nice quality. It's completely smooth. There's no texturing to it whatsoever, but it does appear to have a lot more padding at the back of the heel than any of the previous Adizero. So again, comfort is not really my major concern this time around with the synthetic version of the Adizero. Now, as far as the lightweight insole goes, this is it. You can see it's very, very colorful with that Samba pack pattern going all the way through. Adizero branding right there. Other than that though, it's pretty much the same as previous versions of the lightweight insole. Mesh liner on top, perforations going all throughout. There is a little bit of a different pattern here at the bottom of the insole, but it's made from the same foam, it's the same thickness, and for the most part should provide the exact same amount of comfort under your foot. So other than that, we'll move on to the new sprint frame, which you can see is a lot more like the previous version, or the original version of the sprint frame, I should say. It has that same kind of texturing there that really has nothing to do with grip. It's more so just to match the rest of the design on that Speed Foil synthetic material, which I thought was kind of a cool little design element. But you can see that it no longer features those hard edges that you found on the last two versions of the Adizeros. It's cut a little bit lower at the back as well as on the sides. And like I said, it's pretty much completely rounded off. Still has that same sprint frame branding, as you guys can see. Then moving on to the bottom, the heel area is more or less exactly the same. You have your 4 triangular studs, varying in size, as you can see. Your miCoach slot in the middle. But in the forefoot, that's where you have a little bit of a major change for Adidas in general, because they really haven't changed up their stud patterns over the last couple of years. Now, this is their new speed traction system, or at least that's what they're calling it. And instead of having this type of triangle stud, they've gone with a slightly more extreme triangle stud that is more along the lines of a bladed stud, I would say, where you have these kind of longer edges that are designed to really dig into the ground and provide a really aggressive push-off point underfoot, which is kind of what I'm excited about as far as using these guys go. You still have your 3 studs on both the outside and the inside of the forefoot, with your 1 support stud in the middle. There is kind of a cool little spiral pattern here on the inside, but that really isn't going to provide much in terms of grip. It's more of an aesthetic thing, but overall I think that the angles of the studs are very aggressive, has a decent length to the studs, and because they have a slightly more narrow profile this time around, they should dig into the ground really, really easily. And then something that you guys may not have noticed is that right at the toe, there's a little bit of a toe pick here, kind of reminiscent to what Nike has been doing on a lot of their models as of recent, similar to kind of the texturing at the toe on the Legend for those of you guys that are familiar with what I'm talking about there. So kind of a cool little thing. It doesn't really add much in terms of weight, if any weight at all, to the shoe itself. But definitely is a nice little thing that I would rather have on the shoe than not have, just as kind of that last resort piece of grip at the toe, which I think, again, kind of a nice little addition from Adidas on the brand new Adizero. So that's pretty much it as far as the synthetic Adizero and all of its technical specifications. And move on next to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. The first thing that anybody will notice when they pick up a pair of F50 adizeros is the weight of the shoe. And the new F50 is extremely light. It feels very well balanced, so the back doesn't feel heavier than the front and vice versa. It's just extremely light, almost has no weight to it at all, especially when you have them on feet. Now I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind that this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. I'm going to throw it on the scale. And you can see that these guys weigh in at 5.75 ounces. So a little bit less than the previous synthetic Adizero if you really want to compare it. But you're talking about less than 0.1 to 0.2 ounces. So the difference in weight that you're going to be able to notice is pretty much nothing. They're just as light as all the rest of the synthetic Adizero. So if you're looking for the ultimate in that lightweight feel, the F50 Adizero in synthetic is still going to be probably one of the best options out there. So that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of this video. And move on next to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and what the sizing is like. Alright, here's a look at the new Adizeros on feet. And I think when the shoes are on your feet and your foot kind of fills in the overall shape of the boot, the design looks a lot more sleek, and it definitely is growing on me even as I'm making this video. In terms of the overall fit of this shoe, you guys can see that it is much more low profile and has a much tighter fit than any of the previous synthetic Adizeros, and it is much improved in the fit category in pretty much every way. Because of that as well, I would say that it does have a slimmer profile overall, so if you do have wide feet, this probably isn't going to be the best option for you, as it is quite slim through the midfoot. I have about average width feet, and I'm not at the maximum of what this shoe can handle, but for the most part, if you have wide feet, this probably isn't going to be the best option for you. With that being said, it's hard to say how much this hybrid touch synthetic is going to stretch and mold to your feet. It does feel very soft and flexible from right out of the box. There's really no major discomfort other than some mild tightness through the midfoot, but that's to be expected. And overall, I'm just really happy with how these feel. I would compare them really right off the bat to the Mercurial Vapor 9, which is a very good comparison and a very good sign for the Adizero overall. In terms of sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and length, while it is fairly snug, I would say that these do fit true to size. I guess if you did want a little bit of wiggle room, you could go a half size up pretty safely. But for the most part, if you want them to fit properly and you want that nice tight barefoot feel, I would definitely recommend going true to size. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of this video goes, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the brand new F50 Adizero. Overall, I have to say that this shoe seems very promising. I love the new hybrid touch synthetic so far, and I really am curious to see how this new stud pattern is going to perform. Can't wait to wear these guys. So expect to see my full written review go up in hopefully the next week or so, along with my free kick / playtest video, which should be coming up in the next week. In the meantime, if you guys do want to check out the high quality images of this shoe or get the buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes, to get yourself some additional discounts if you are interested in ordering a pair, the best place to go is the review page on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com, which you can find linked down below in the description. If you guys have any questions regarding the shoe or any suggestions for other F50 videos you would like to see, feel free to leave a comment down below and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, as always, be sure to support the video with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information down below in the description. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.